Hello! Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. It's in the game. I'll say it today. My name's John.
Man.
Yes, I know you love it, JL. I'm here today, as usual, at 3 o'clock on weekdays with my great buddy, John Luke Garofalo. How you doing today, JL?
I'm doing better now that I'm with you, Josh. And our good buddy Cal.
That's what I was about to say. Less me, maybe more Cal. We have a very special guest today. Cal, you can find him on Twitter at Calvin and Hobby. It's written right
good
there.
Friend of the show. Best friend of the show.
One of our best friends of our show, and me personally.
Best man of my wedding.
You don't know that, Cal, but you know. It's official now. He does a ton for DLF, especially their YouTube. Like I said, you can find him doing a lot of work for DLF and find him on the Viper Cast with Fantasy Points Live. Cal, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I'm so fired up to do this. This is my second time. So like I didn't screw it up too bad on the first one. You guys asked me back. I'm really glad about that. I loved watching the show. I love you guys are great. Best chat room. I'm excited about this whole thing, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Our chat really is undefeated. We do not give enough credit to the chat because I feel like probably 80% of the reason people stay in here is because of the chat. It's not even us. It's just we're here as an excuse for the chat to get together.
Exactly.
The chat's amazing. The chat's amazing. And like I already mentioned, Simon, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury today. Our heart's out to Simon right now. You know, he's got a little bit of a lower back issue going on, but it's all good. He's gonna be fine.
He's looking to become a cyborg. He's got like a consultation appointment with a surgeon.
He's literally going to remove the lower half of his body.
Yeah.
Just keep the top half.
But he still wants to poop, and they're trying to figure all that out. How he's going to still be able to poop with no bottom half.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's a lot of money.
But, you know, we brought Cal on here today because we want to do some tiers. Right? And we got some great comments in the chat. Scott Fish coming in saying, I'm a dad, have been on TV. I'm not sure if I can win this bracket. Gonna be some stiff competition, but let's hope.
You want to crash, Scott?
Scott, listen, like you would rank high in these tiers, but you're definitely not S class. There's some dads that we're going to be talking about. I don't know. They edge you out a little bit. I'm sorry, Scott. I love you, Scott. Cal's down there like, I didn't say that.
He's going to give you a swirly whenever we see him in Vegas next time in February. He's going to give you a big old swirly.
I had him firmly in my fish tier. I'm going to have to adjust.
Fish tier.
Oh, that's F if you ask me.
Oh, that can't be right.
Who will win the TV Dads bracket? I am not sure.
It's a Uncle
tough
Phil.
How? From Craig. Oh,
nice, Craig.
Oh, I just wanted to be able to do that GIF where the woman's like, and her jaw is like going all the way up. I need that for every time Craig talks.
Right? Like that's a pretty good dad joke right there.
Craig would
a little bit,
but he hasn't been on TV.
King of dad jokes. The king.
Sorry, Craig.
Scott Fish has been on TV. Craig, I don't know.
So that is going to edge out Scott Fish in the Craig versus Scott Fish debate. But Craig, the king of dad jokes, coming in here all the time. Thank you, Craig. Anthony saying Al Bundy for the win. Let's go. Definitely not Rick Grimes. If Uncle Phil isn't S tier, we riot. And that's the first name that came to my mind when I was like thinking about S tiers, right?
We riot.
Let's see. Any other good comments? Bore on the floor. I don't get it. Help me out with that one, guys.
Not great. Up your game here, Greg.
Walter White. Is he on this tier list? He probably isn't even on there. He's not a TV dad. I guess that's the show.
He is a TV dad.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, we got Bryan Cranston, so we could just say all of his characters. Oh, no, he is on there. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Beautiful. But yeah, before we get started, you know, I did bring some news for today. I do want to get at it. But again, before we get started, listen, we're here live streaming every freaking weekday. Every weekday at 3 o'clock.
Every weekday.
Monday through Friday. That's what all we got. Actually, you can find us on YouTube and Twitch under Front Yard Fantasy. Find us on Twitter at Front Yard FYF. And guess what? We're also streaming live on FanDuel's Twitch and YouTube pages every Friday, starting at 6. You can find us there. We're playing fun games on FanDuel's channels there. And then also on Sundays for the last 2 weeks, we've been doing a Sunday recap starting at 7 to 8:30, where we go over all the games from a fantasy context.
Hot off the press.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. And I know if you haven't had enough of us after today, we are going to be doing a fantasy football office hours right after the show today, starting around 4:15, where we will be talking about any start-sit questions you may have. Any questions?
Any questions? We got you. We need like a printout.
I just love that you guys get extra hours in the day. I just love that. If we all get 24, you guys get like 35 or something. You guys do so much. It's awesome.
Well, it helps when, what's sleep? Who needs sleep?
Yeah, who needs sleep?
I sleep all the time.
Scott Fish makes us go live at all hours of the day. We have to be ready at his beck and call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into the news real fast. Just some quick hitters we can go through pretty quickly for the most part. Wentz will miss week 3. Those dang ankles.
Damn it, Josh.
You
got me. Dang ankles.
I don't know if we've ever seen a double ankle injury before, but if anyone was going to do it.
How did the other one get hurt? I saw the one. It looked gruesome, and I don't know how the other one got hurt.
I don't know.
Sympathy? Is it like a sympathy sprain?
Let's just forget about Carson Wentz for the time.
What up,
right?
Troy?
Yo, Troy! Troy season. All right. Darrell Henderson is still not practicing. If he's not in, Cal, I wanted to ask you: do you feel comfortable at all putting Sony Michel in your lineups this week?
Is it possible he's just scared of the Tampa Bay? He just saw how good they've been against the run, and he's just like, "I'm not doing it, guys. Yeah, I'm not."
Well, you brought up Tampa Bay right there, and that's the thing. That's why I have a lot of trouble putting Sony Michel in my lineup, even if Darrell Henderson doesn't play. Maybe an emergency start, right? At best.
I cannot imagine having fun with Sony Michel in my lineup. That just seems very not fun on a Sunday.
Yeah, you say that now, but once he gets 3 touchdowns on Sunday, maybe you'll change your mind.
Steve, who's laughing?
All right. So Kyle Shanahan said that Trey Sermon looks like he may play this week. He's in the concussion protocol right now. Every other running back's hurt. So Trey Sermon, man, look out for this. If he's the only running back healthy, he might be startable. Over Sony Michel, right?
Yes, it certainly. If you see the injury reports where if Elijah Mitchell's inactive, if we don't get Jermichael Hasty is on IR, so we're not going to get him. Then it's just him and Kerryon Johnson and Trenton Cannon. So yeah, fire him up. I think it actually could be a pretty good game for him, and he looked good on that first carry. Just unfortunately, that was a just brutal hit.
He got like 3 concussions in one play. It is at 3 times. It was
did
bad.
Not look good.
No,
I don't blame him for the fumble at all either. That's not a concern.
No.
But if it's messy, if Elijah Mitchell's still in there, then I'm staying away.
Oh, absolutely.
I fell out of a hammock when I was a kid and I blacked out. So that was just like hitting my head once. So if I hit my head 3 times, there's no way I'm holding on to a ball.
That's really close to what happened to Trey Sermon. Really close.
All right, guys. So Otto Beckham is a game time decision this week.
What happened to full go?
He's a full go in practice.
Oh, okay.
I think he's going to play. I really do. I think they're just kind of like holding their cards tight, so they don't want to, admit that he's playing yet. But I think he's going to be out there, and I'm willing to throw him out there in my lineup if I have to.
By the way, I am not starting Trey Sermon this week.
I'd rather not, but
I think I'd rather start
him over Sony Michel.
I think I'd rather start Sony.
No.
It's Trey Sermon if everyone else
if.
Do
we have news on Elijah Mitchell?
No. I don't think it's looking good for him actually, though.
Okay, you're right. He did not practice.
Galladay appears to have a hip injury now. So
is that news? I thought he's had one for like a year.
No, that was a hamstring injury. This is a hip injury now.
Oh, no, I'm thinking Godwin. Godwin had the hip injury, right?
Yeah. So he
needs the cyborg surgery.
Today.
He needs a Simon cyborg surgery.
He needs that.
Yeah. Well, once we figure out the poop thing.
He is practicing today. He just apparently isn't doing anything.
He just appears to have a hip injury. I love that.
But Evan Ingram is practicing on the other hand.
Fire up your Evan Ingram?
I'm not firing him up, but...
Against Atlanta?
What did Scott Fish say yesterday? It's like you see the reflection of the ball as it bounces off his gloves.
I could not play Evan Ingram his first week back, even against Atlanta, but
no,
look out for him. Maybe if he has a good game, then he's worth a pickup probably in this tight end landscape we live in. And Lamar Jackson, he's missed practice today due to a hip injury. And apparently he injured his hip on that flip.
Oh my God. It looked like it kind of hurt. Like you do it and then you're like, oh, like you're holding
you're like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very like, you remember that flip that I don't even remember who it was, but I think it was a Bengal player that like flipped into the end zone that one time, landed on his feet. It was super smooth. I think in Lamar's mind, it was going to go that way.
That's how it looked.
And it did not.
It did not. It looked like a second grader trying to do a cartwheel.
Yes.
It was still cool, though.
One last piece of news. Jay coming in here with the breaking news. Daddy Simon did not practice.
Never call him that again.
Week 3. All right, let's get that off the board. Let's get that off there while we can. Luke coming in saying, it brings me joy to see how much of the chat has favored TV dads compared to week 3 wide receivers.
We've talked about during the season not doing the fun tiers of the fun brackets, but I feel like it's gonna be a hard sell to the chat. The chat is always in here being like, let's get to the real tiers, the real brackets.
I can't wait to see where Phillip Rivers ranks. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Those dankles.
Scotch has been going off in here. He gave us like a bunch of different. Oh, Anthony Wankles. I like that.
Oh, we also have Stankles. This is all.
I think I'm going to stick with Dankles, but I think it means something else.
All right. Jay coming in here saying Trenton Cannon season.
Season.
Swamp Nola saying just got home from work, first day back at work.
Hey,
and the weather
up,
is
Swampy?
amazing. I'm happy to hear
Love
that.
it.
Who dat? Let's go, Swampy.
Enjoy your sub.
Bondi saying, "What's up today?"
What up,
boys?
Bondi? Good to see you again, my friend.
Hell yeah. Bondi saying, "I'm a trading machine. I traded DeAndre Swift and Mike Davis for Jonathan Taylor and Mark Ingram. How dumb is he? I'm still trying to figure this out a little bit. I do put Jonathan Taylor slightly ahead of DeAndre Swift. And then Mike.
This depends on your depth.
I would
rather.
Not
You're going to say not dumb? You make this trade?
I don't think Mike Davis is any. Okay. I think about things in terms of dynasty. So I guess if I got my dynasty hat on, I would definitely prefer Jonathan Taylor because I don't think Mike Davis or Mark Ingram or anything. So it's really just Swift and Taylor. Even a redraft though, like, are you ever going to feel comfortable putting Mike Davis in your lineup?
More than Mark Ingram. I feel like at least Mike Davis might have some opportunities week to week, but Mark Ingram, I think you could take this out of the trade. It affects my opinion none.
Yeah, I think you're right. I feel like Mike Davis is a flex-worthy play. I don't feel excited about it. It doesn't get me out of bed in the morning, but he's viable. He's viable, much more than Mark Ingram, like JL said. So
yeah, but with Cordero Patterson, it's definitely iffy.
I'm excited about Cordero.
Yeah, me too. And then he says he already has Zeke and Pollard. Then it's a great trade. I love package and upgrade at a position is a great move. Always a great move as long as you have the depth to back it up. All right, you guys ready to get in these tiers?
I'm ready. Let's get in there. I'm excited.
All right. Whoop, whoop. All right, starting with week 3 wide receivers. So why don't we start by just getting some of these easy S tier guys out of the way. Cal, who stands out to you? Easy S tier. None of us are going to disagree. Are there any Deontay Adams, right?
How about the league leader in targets this season, CeeDee Lamb? 24 targets, 15 catches, 185 yards. He's got Philadelphia this week, which is a bit of a tougher matchup, but I think Dak is going to bounce back from his that Chargers defense is pretty good. I think it's better than what he's going to face here in Philly. It's going to be prime time. It's going to be on Monday night. CeeDee Lamb, S tier for me.
I'm fine putting him in a must start.
I agree.
Yeah, I have him. I think is like back end top 10 wide receiver. So I don't expect anything crazy, but I just think if it's top 10 wide receiver performance on the week, that's a must start.
Yeah. I don't think the Eagles defense are going to be able to contain him. I'm all about CeeDee Lamb this week. Tyreek Hill, throw him up there. DeAndre Hopkins, throw him up there.
Cooper Kupp,
Stephon Diggs.
Where's Nuke at?
Cooper Kupp is a must start. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp's a must start.
Where is he at?
He's not Thielen. They do look kind of similar.
They do. The beard color, like beard and hair color is very similar. Who else? There's one I missed. Who was the other one I said?
Stephon Diggs. How about the Seahawks receivers? Both of them? Are they both must starts?
Yeah, I would. Cal?
They're both must starts in my mind.
Which ones? Who is it?
DK and Tyler Lockett.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on Lockett. I love Lockett. Lockett over DK for me.
So we'll leave DK. If DK is not a must start for you, where is Lockett on here?
I don't know. Where is he?
Aren't they switched?
Robinson. Here he is.
Yeah,
that's a different picture of him. All right, let's get into it now.
Oh, hold on. I'm still throwing both Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley in the must start category myself. But if you guys disagree, we can leave those up for debate.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I like it. Keenan Allen's the only wide receiver with 20 targets this season that doesn't have a touchdown, and that's coming. So yes.
All right, so we said Keenan Allen.
Yep.
This is so hard. Here we go. He's really right at the front.
Yeah, there he is.
And who was the other one?
I said Calvin Ridley, but I could see there being some debate there myself.
I'm fine putting him in must start. He's top 10 for me as well. All right, now let's get into it. Cal, we're going to start with you. Which wide receiver would you like to tier first?
Okay, let's go with Mike Williams, who is another one who is just very interesting to me on the season. Chargers facing this Chiefs defense. Chiefs have only given up one wide receiver touchdown on the season so far, but Mike Williams is one of 3 wide receivers that has double-digit targets in both of his games this season. He has out-targeted Keenan Allen. He is breaking out. To me, like, I think he'd be borderline S, but like I'm willing to put him like kind of just below that top tier.
All right, so we got an S or a must start from Cal. Josh, where are you tiering Mike Williams?
Well, are you putting him in a must start, Cal, or are you putting him in great start?
I am absolutely starting him if I've got him. So if that's must start, then yeah. But like I don't view him in the same way I view Cooper Kupp necessarily. I'm not ready to say that yet. He's disappointed us so many times. There's a part of you that's like waiting for the bottom to drop out. But everything we've seen this season looks amazing. All the reports of him doing the quote unquote Michael Thomas role in this Joe Lombardi offense seems like it's coming true. So yeah, I love what we're seeing from him. I'm definitely starting him where I've got him, no doubt.
Against the Chiefs too. This is going to be a shootout, guys. I cannot put him in must start because there's a world where someone has a team, something like, I don't know, they have like Calvin Ridley, they have Amari Cooper on their team, and like DJ Moore, let's just say, and then they have Mike Williams as their 4th guy. So there's a world where I'm starting all those guys over Mike Williams still personally. So I guess I could put him in the great start category. He's somewhere in between. Like he's more than a solid start. So he's great start. I'll put him in great start.
All right. We got one must start, one great start.
And just so everyone knows, there is that E there. That is more of an emergency start. E for emergency, right?
E for emergency. Okay. Or elevator. I'm gonna put him in great start, but I fully agree with you, Cal. I put out a tweet this morning that was I dug into Mike Williams to look at what has changed from last year to this year. And his opportunities he's getting so much more opportunity than he did last year. Like Cal said, he's got 22 targets on the season, averaging 11 targets per game, which is doubled from the last 2 seasons, his average. The reason I can't put him in must start is because he has a touchdown each of those 2 games, and I can't project he's going to get a touchdown every game. Now, this should be a high scoring game, so I'm totally fine with him being in must start. I also agree with Josh. There's a lot of people I would start ahead of him, so I'm going to put him in great start. And so that averages out to 1.6, which is going to put him in great start here.
Such a great start.
Joshua.
It's exciting to see him doing something, right? And
oh my God, finally.
I know it's exciting for you, JL.
Yes.
I see a question in the chat here. Lockett or Lamb this week? And I think it's very relevant. We kind of skimmed over these guys because they're both must starts. That's a really, really tough decision for me. It's hard to bench Tyler Lockett after what he's done, how explosive he has looked. But I'm such a Lamb guy. I would still play Lamb over Lockett.
I would go Lockett. Cal, what about you?
Minnesota is 3rd worst against the wide receiver this season so far. It's a young season, but that defense is not what we're used to seeing with Mike Zimmer. I got to go Lockett. Even though CeeDee Lamb was the first one that I called out, Lockett is so much fun. But look, you might as well be asking me to choose between my kids, which would not make me do very well.
Come on, we know you have an answer.
There's a favorite. There's always a favorite.
You won't say it out loud, but we know it's true. He's like, all right, I plead the fifth. All right, Josh, who are you talking about next?
And Sean said, "What's up, dudes? What's up?
What up, Sean?
Hope
you're feeling better, my friend."
Yeah. So I guess we didn't put DK in must start, right? He's not up there yet.
We didn't. No.
He's a must start option for me. Yeah, look,
there you go.
There. DK is a must start sooner or later. Russ is going to get hit to him instead of Lockett, and I think this is the week. I personally I'm starting DK over Lockett. And maybe you could call me crazy from what we've seen in the first 2 weeks, but I think this is DK's week.
I don't think you have a better option. If you got DK on your team, you're not sitting him. There's no way. Yeah. So yes,
yeah.
I mean
it must.
So yes. So double must start. I'm just gonna go ahead and triple that. It's must start. Right, it's must start. That Minnesota secondary is cheeks. So oops, can't say that on Twitch. I think. Anyway, moving on.
Real fast, Cal.
Yeah.
Jay has a question for you. Your kids or Lockett?
It's my kids. It's my kids. I left out of Lockett, but we'll take the kids.
Your kids or Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah. We'll just leave it there. It's just a yes. Jo, come on. What player you got?
All right. So the next player I want to talk about here is Justin Jefferson. Why don't we just get to him?
Ooh.
Justin Jefferson is also must start for me this week. I think it's going to be a good game. I hope it's a high scoring game. And I think Justin Jefferson is due for some touchdowns. So I'm going to put him in must start. Cal, what do you think?
Yeah, if I'm saying the rest of those guys are must start, what's hurting him right now is Osborne has a little bit better of a connection with Kirk Cousins, and it's not a bad thing. I think it's going to open things up for him in the long run. I mentioned only 3 players having double-digit targets in both weeks. Well, Jefferson has 10 in one and then 9 in the other, so it's really close, obviously. He's a stud. I'll bump him down a little bit just because that offense doesn't look exactly the way you want it to. So I'd say he's a great start, but yeah, again, you're not sitting Justin Jefferson if you got him.
All right, so you'd say great start. Josh, what do you think?
He's right in between must and great start. I'm going to put him in great start, actually. I'm going to lock him in great start. He's awesome. Right. You're starting him, but...
Fish has left the chat.
I feel like there has to just be some separation between these other guys, and this is a next tier for me almost. Justin Jefferson starts at next tier. He's still in your lineup, but I don't know. I'm just not quite as excited as the other.
All right, so Justin Jefferson gets in the great start. Cal, we're back to you. Is there any of these guys who aren't a must start, great start? Maybe we can switch it up a little bit here. Any of these guys you're benching, or you might throw in the emergency start section?
You may have to help me with which ones some of these guys are.
We got like Kenny Galladay, Robert Woods. Actually, I don't even know if Kenny Galladay's here. Robert Woods, Adam Thielen, Cortland Sutton.
DJ Moore, Julio Jones, and Julia Jones gets me. So you already got to Lamb, T. Higgins, Mike Evans,
Chase Claypool,
AJ Brown.
Do we not have Sterling Shepard? Man, that's a crime if we don't have Sterling Shepard on here. He's been so solid this year.
That would be a great one.
And where would you put him?
Falcons team with potentially no Kenny Galladay, and that would be, to me, that would be absolutely great start. I mean, that's somebody you got so late in the draft. You are fired up about being able to start him. Just when we think we can trust the Giants, they always seem to let us down. But we're going to, for now, I think he's a great start if he's in there. If not, is he not?
He's not in there.
He's not.
Yeah, we'll blame Jay for that one. But
he would be a solid start for me.
He would be a solid start for me as well. But I am very excited about him. I had him in a lot of leagues, so it's been awesome. Is there anyone else you want to talk about here, Cal?
Do we have Deontay Johnson on here? Did you say him too? No.
I don't see Deontay Johnson. See Chase Claypool.
Wait, what are you doing here, Jay?
What are you doing, Jay? What do we pay you for?
I will say Deontay Johnson has the injury he's dealing with, the knee injury, and he did not participate in practice, so he might not even play this week. So that could lead us into some other conversation. Let's just say Deontay Johnson isn't playing this week. I see Chase Claypool here. He's out. Deontay Johnson's out. Where do you put Chase Claypool? How about that?
Against Cincinnati, Chase Claypool, he's due for one of those big games, right? Like at some point it's going to happen. Is this the one that they could get into the type of game script where he could have that kind of a big game. I think it probably does good things for Juju Smith-Schuster, honestly. I think he's the better beneficiary. He's not as good of a wide receiver, in my opinion, as Deontay Johnson. In the last 16 games, he's got like 183 targets that he's played the full game, which is crazy. Juju, on the other hand, could fill into that role, run those shorter routes. And, I think I'd bump him up a little bit, but Chase, obviously you're waiting for a big hit. But that's more of a hit or miss. Like I'm more sour on him than I think the community is at whole.
So where would you put Chase Claypool for this week? Or a solid start, emergency start?
Yeah, solid start. I think he's a solid. All
right.
You feel like you can win if you got him in your lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, where are you putting Chase Claypool?
Solid start. There's a ton of upside with him, but with Ben Roethlisberger's pec injury, I'm just nervous about him being able to air out the ball. Chase Claypool's been killing it in air yards this season, but again, that injury concerns me a lot with the aging Ben Roethlisberger. So he's a solid start for me.
Yeah, so we got two solid starts. For me, he's on the line between solid start and emergency start. I don't think you need to start Chase Claypool. That Big Ben injury definitely concerns me. If Deontay Johnson's out, that definitely boosts him a little bit. I'll go ahead and put him in solid start. It won't matter what I put anyway, whether I do solid start or emergency start. He's going to be in solid start. He's going to average out to that. So Chase Claypool's in solid start. Joshua, who do you want to talk about?
That's me. And I am going to bring up let's talk about Deebo Samuel here. Deebo.
The Jay said top 30 fantasy pros. That's what's on there. Don't like it and make it yourself.
Sassy. Yeah, exactly. And maybe we just change around the names of these because like top 30 wide receivers, it's hard to bench any of those guys, right? Sure. So like when it comes down to it, we're thinking about it in a context with the rest of these guys, right? So in terms of that kind of context, I'm playing Deebo Samuel above Chase Claypool, and maybe that almost lowers Chase Claypool in my mind almost down to an E category. But Deebo Samuel's got to be in your lineup. But is he a great start? Yeah, he's a great start.
I love when you answer your own questions.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Deebo Samuel, let's go.
Deebo Samuel, great start. I'm next. I think he'll be a low end wide receiver. Probably be a very low end running back, but low end wide receiver too for me. I am excited, and I until we see Ayuk getting more involved, I'm all aboard the Deebo train here. So I will put him in great start as well.
Great start for me too. 282 receiving yards. Leads the NFL.
Oh, there
in receiving yards.
Okay, there's more. Yeah, he's all the way on the right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're going to put him in great start as well, Cal?
Yeah.
All right. Back to me. We'll do probably one more round of this and then get on to the TV dads. Let's see. Who do I want to talk about here? Let's talk about Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks to me is I feel like I'm going to catch flack for this. I'm going to put him in emergency start. I'm going to keep disrespecting Brandon Cooks. Davis Mills throwing in the ball. I know he's the only one on that offense, and I think that's why he's an emergency start and not a bench, because I think that he still could have that upside. But I'm not excited to start Brandon Cooks with Davis Mills thrown to him, so I'm going to put him in emergency start. Cal, where do you put Brandon Cooks for week 3?
I am 100% with you. I am terrified of this defense in Carolina, who just, has looked really good. It just made, Jameis Winston look worse than Taysom Hill somehow. And they're now facing Davis Mills, who is making his first career start. No thanks. I don't want any piece of the Houston offense tonight.
And I'm right there with you guys, especially in the grand scheme of these guys. Brandon Cooks is an emergency start, and closer to a bench when we're talking about all 30. I'm going to put him in the bench category just because we're talking in the context of all 30 of these guys. He's one of my last people that I would start out of all these guys.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great reasoning there, Josh, and making me maybe question my own grade here.
And you said you were going to get flack for emergency start.
I know. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to keep him in emergency. I'm going to keep him emergency start here. Yeah. Sean said, I wish Steelers would sign Cam Newton already. I don't love him, but he has to be better than the jabroni ass Big Ben at this point, coming from a Steelers fan. Yeah. I don't know if he'll throw better, but maybe with Big Ben's pec injury and stuff. Big Ben hasn't been throwing well, but he'll definitely be better for that offense. Most likely, open it up a little bit with his legs. What do you think,
Can
Cal?
throw that 2-yard pass so well though,
right to Najee.
Just to show you like how, just in case you're ready to overreact to 2 weeks, Cam was a top 5 quarterback last year after 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at standings and
that bird's eye view
right now. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
We got a question here from Anthony. Is Michael Pittman emergency or bench?
Bench.
Especially in the grand scheme of these guys.
Jacob Eason's so bad. He's so bad.
He's really bad.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz, dang ankles.
Dankles.
Now, when it comes down to it, like in the actual scheme of fantasy, and he's like your receiver, he's more of an emergency start when it comes down to it. But in the context of these wide receivers we're talking about here, he's a bench and a half.
All right, we'll do one more round, go through this, and then we'll get on to TV dads. Cal, which of these wide receivers are you talking about? You want to talk about next?
I want to talk about Robert Woods. I know he has not done a ton so far, but this Tampa Bay team tied for 26th in the league in terms of fantasy points given up right now. Their secondary is banged up. Sean Murphy-Bunting is out. They've had injuries in other places there. And Robert Woods not being the favorite target so far of Matt Stafford, apparently because he doesn't like to go to breakfast with him or something. I don't know what the narrative is there, but this just is one of those things when you have a duo like this. You saw it last week. Mike Evans wasn't super involved with Tampa Bay in week 1. What did they do? They went out there. They got him super involved in week 2. We've now got a couple of weeks where Cooper Kupp has dominated the touches. I have no doubt that they know they need Robert Woods for the long stretch. They got a playoff run in. They are going to get him involved. This is a great matchup to do so. They're almost certainly going to be chasing points. I guess like that would be my guess for this matchup. So they're going to throw the ball a ton. Stafford's going to throw. He's going to find Robert Woods. To me, he's a great start this week.
I love that. Great start for Robert Woods. Joshua, you have been a Robert Woods hater.
I've not been a hater. That's not true.
You have disparaged the good name of the Woods family.
No. I'm not a hater. I just, 13 targets, 8 receptions, 91 yards, 1 touchdown through the first 2 weeks. We know it's been average at best. I put him right next to Claypool personally. A solid start.
So 1 great start, 1 solid start. I'm going to go with Cal here. I think he is a great start for me this week. Stop it, Joshua. The over under on this game is 55.5. So I hope it's a shootout like Tampa Bay has had the first 2 weeks. And I'm hoping that they get Robert Woods more involved. And I do think that it won't be as lopsided throughout the season as it is in these past 2 weeks. I'm hoping. So this week I'm going to put him in great start. He's a wide receiver, low end wide receiver 2 for me this week. So that will put him in great start.
Let's go. All
right, Josh, who's the last wide receiver you want to talk about?
The last wide receiver I want to talk about Terry McLaurin. I almost want to throw him in a must start, but he's not. He's a great start. He looked good with Taylor Heineke even last week. So I'm excited for Terry McLaurin. Definitely a great start.
Yep, great start for me as well. He looked fantastic. It is he's facing the Buffalo secondary. My goodness, I'm in trouble. Buffalo secondary. Buffalo Wild Wings. He's facing that Buffalo secondary, which is tough. It's a good defense, but he was targeted so much last week, and he looked fantastic. I think there's no way you're benching McLaurin. What do you think, Al?
He's a must start for me. There's I know Buffalo's defense is tough. I know he's going to have, some tough matchups out there, but he's up to the task. I think Buffalo is going to be much stronger against the run. I think Antonio Gibson is the one I'm probably fading in this matchup on Washington's side.
I changed mine to must start.
McLaurin, I think he's going to be.
It's no more room. What happens if you add?
But I'm just looking at the great starts there, and man. Yeah, McLaurin's above all those guys, far and away above all those great stars.
So it's back to me. This is the last one we'll do. And I saw a question coming. Here we go. Are y'all benching Allen Robinson? So I'll go ahead and do Allen Robinson. I'm not benching Allen Robinson. You got Justin Fields starting this week. I want to see. That's what we've been waiting for. I think Allen Robinson has not been started because we had Andy Dalton under center there in Chicago. I'm excited. He is facing a tough matchup against Cleveland, but he's the clear one on that team, in my opinion. I have him as a high-end wide receiver too this week. I think he's a must start for me. What do you think, Gal?
I have to call him a solid start, not because of any, like, obviously Allen.
I'm changing mine to great start. You're right, because there's some uncertainty. So I'm going to change it to great start. Go ahead, continue.
It's just the uncertainty on, look, I think Justin Fields is going to be a great fantasy quarterback. I wonder how much of the offense is going to be built for him to do that on the ground and how much of it is going to be built to him doing it through the air. And it could be through the air, right? Like, we could look at it and say, like, oh, that was stupid to fade him. But I just feel like kind of the unknown for this makes me want to I'd like to see it before I bump him up with this situation that we think is, I imagine there's a completely different offense than Justin Fields was getting to run this past week. I think it's going to look a lot different this week.
Yeah, great points. Josh, where are you putting Allen Robinson?
I'm really falling back on the history of Allen Robinson. I just think he is a top-notch S-tier wide receiver, and the situation's not great right now, but he's still a great start in my mind. I've got to put him in my lineups. I cannot bench Allen Robinson. I have faith that he's going to put it all together, and this is the week. So I'm putting him in a great start.
So one solid start, 2 great starts. It's going to put him in the great start. And that'll wrap it up for our wide receiver tier list here. And
hey, we did it.
To the TV dads. We did it. And we got some questions in here. And
we did.
Josh, maybe you can facilitate these while I get the next one up. First one for me. Let me just go ahead and jump in here because I have a clear answer on this one.
Yeah.
I'm starting Devonta Smith over Michael Pittman.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the Indianapolis offense. This could be bad.
Absolutely. Definitely starting Devonta Smith over Michael. I mean, the Eagles are playing the Cowboys, and we all know the Cowboys
Monday night.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a shootout. Devonta Smith's going to eat. He's going to get, you heard it here first. He's going to get over 10 targets, probably about 8 receptions at least. You heard it here first. All right. He's going to have a fantastic week, especially PPR wise. And then we had another question come in. Sit one, Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman, or Devonta Smith?
Pittman.
Very similar to the question we just asked.
Pittman.
It might be Elijah Moore if he doesn't play.
If he doesn't play, yes. Definitely Elijah Moore.
Yeah, right. Elijah Moore is questionable right now, but if he's playing in there, I would start him over Michael Pittman as well.
Charlie in here said, just got Devontae Adams and Max Williams for TJ Hawkinson and Deebo Samuel. What do you all think? Cal, what do you think about this?
So let me reframe and redraft here. Oh gosh. No, I think I want Hawkinson and Samuel. I think Hawkinson has every bit the look of a difference maker at tight end right now. Let's see if he can put it together for the whole season. But if he's a difference maker and the way Deebo looks, no, I mean, Adams is awesome, but I'm taking the advantage at tight end.
So I would love to know Charlie's tight end situation outside of TJ Hawkinson. Is Max Williams now your starter going forward at tight end? Because that sucks. Devontae Adams is by far and away the most valuable player in this trade, but TJ Hawkinson and Deebo Samuel are both top tier fantasy assets, while Max Williams is nothing really. So it's not an unfair trade. It's a fair trade, but I would like to hear that you have another tight end you're able to start instead of TJ Hawkinson, someone like maybe Logan Thomas or something like that. Yeah.
Yep, completely agree with these guys. I have nothing to add. Scott Fish said, I heard that on another Josh. I just didn't hear it here first. Classic. I'm kidding. And then he goes, Max Williams has 2 X's. Show some respect for the former Gopher.
Hey, the Ravens drafted Max Williams. I was so excited. I remember Mel Kiper made him his rookie of the year call after the Ravens drafted him, and it just didn't all pan out, didn't all come together. But I'm a Max Williams fan.
Good times.
Good times. A couple more questions here. Jonathan said, "What about T. Higgins? Cal, what do you think about T. Higgins this week?"
I love T. Higgins. I mean, he's another one that the Bengals right now are not running the offense I expect to see them running in the second half. I think they're still just easing Burrow back in and Joe Mixon's getting a lot of carries. But there's no doubt Zach Taylor wants to throw the ball. He wants to lead the league in passing attempts and in plays, all that. He's going to get back to that. that Bengals offense is going to be awesome. So I don't know if this is for this week, you mean, or just
I think it's
about
this week.
Higgins in general?
I think it's this week.
Yeah, great start. Fire him up, no doubt.
This week could be tough. I mean, playing the Steelers, whose defense has been a little exploitable so far, but I think they do have a good defense. But T. Higgins is getting more targets than anyone on that team, more receptions, more touchdowns.
He does have a shoulder injury.
Yeah. As long as he's healthy, he's you got to put him in your lineup. Great start.
Scott Fish says Joe Hayden out should be nice for T. That's actually.
Oh, I did not know Jay Hayden was out.
Important information, actually. So
huge information. T. Higgins is going to have a good game as long as he's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah.
So monitor the injury report.
I see some of your other questions in here. We're going to try and get to them while we're going to, but we're going to move on to the tier list here. Just get started. Let's do it. We'll answer some of these questions in between our tiering. So, Cal, we're going to start with you again. TV dads. Your grading criteria is whatever you want it to be.
Can we just do it? And when I say it, like Uncle Phil, can we just get that out of the way real fast? Like
S tier.
Everyone's putting him S tier. He's the best.
He's the top Uncle of the Phil's S tier, and there's no one above him.
I mean, there might be some other S tier players, but
I agree, but no one above Uncle Phil.
That's fine. He's sitting.
R.I.P.
So go ahead, Cal. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. That's the right move. He should be up there. He's the best. Even though he's Uncle Phil, he's the best TV dad.
He's the best TV dad. Yes.
Dexter is a father, by the way. So yeah. Later.
Isn't that the new season or something?
No. At the end of the last couple seasons, it was a very big deal. Like him having his kid that he was watching after it's kind of annoying, honestly.
I can't really watch that show seriously anymore after I learned that he and his sister, like the actors themselves, were married, and that he's very much shorter than her, and then they're divorced, and it just changes the whole way I see the show now.
All right.
So if we're just gonna make a group decision to him going up there, then the first one I'll actually throw out is Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Ooh.
That's him.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you don't know the show, Jay?
I know the show, but I never really watched it. Wasn't my cup of tea.
The Toolman.
So look, he's got 3 boys. So I've got 4 kids. I have 3 of mine are sons. So there's part of me that thinks about how that dynamic and how much fun those relationships can be. But think about having him as a dad. So yes, he was a little goofy. He would do some things that were not, he would embarrass you, no doubt. But he had his own TV show. So you have the dad that's got the TV show. There's a little bit of my dad's kind of a celebrity. That's kind of a cool thing. He always seemed to, by the end of it, even if he would do dumb things, he would come around and have good words of wisdom, helping them through their life, problems, whatever it is that they had. Plus he was into cars. He was into some really cool things. He'd make, things in his garage and create things. So to me, that's an S tier dad. It's not perfect. It's going to be messy, but that's a great dad.
All right. We got one S tier. Josh, where are you putting Tim the Toolman Taylor?
He deserves to be way up there, and making fun of kind of embarrassing your kids is part of being a dad. But he's a great dad when it comes down to it. He's an A tier dad for me.
A tier. I'm gonna put him in B tier to save myself from the vitriol of the chat, just because I didn't really relate to the show, so didn't watch it very much. So I'll go with the most average here with B. So that puts him at an A. Look at you! Look at you doing the math.
Well, it wasn't much math to be done. There was an S, A, and a B. In the middle is an A.
It's pretty easy.
Too much math. Josh, who are you? Which dad do you want to talk about next?
I've got a guy I want to talk about, and it's Bob Belcher. I'm looking at, let's just compare him with the other cartoon dads real fast we have on the list. We've got Homer Simpson, we got Jerry Smith, we got Peter Griffin, we got Ned Flanders. And
he's easily the best animated here.
He's easily the best animated dad. He's just the best dad. He's a great dad. He doesn't have a lot of money or anything, but he is a good dad. He cares about his family. He cares about his kids, and he's just Bob. Everyone loves Bob. It's S tier. Bob's Burgers. Let's go.
S tier. I'm gonna put Bob in A tier. He's A tier for me. I agree mostly with what you said, but just down a degree. Josh, comparable to S and A. So I'm gonna put him in A tier. That's my reasoning.
I'm a big animated fan, by the way. I love.
I know that. Oh yeah.
So,
Cal, where are you putting Bob Belcher?
So the only thing is like, how much fun, are you gonna have with a trip with your dad there? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure that's going to be. So I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say B.
Oh, we just did it again. S-A-B.
All right, B tier. We got some questions in here. Let's see.
Yes, we do.
We go back.
Bob, that's a question.
Bob is a question. I love that he just uses Bob.
Bob. He just agrees. Yeah, Bob Belcher deserves to be A tier.
So much Uncle Phil love.
As there should be.
Here we go. Michael Brantley. Should I accept this trade? I give up Claypool, who's on my bench, and I would get James Robinson. Real quick, Cal, would you take this trade?
No.
Josh?
No. He's saying Claypool's on his bench, so I'm assuming his wide receiver situation is great. Is James Robinson going to be a starter? If James Robinson is going to be a starter, then yes. I wouldn't do it in a dynasty league. I would do it in a redraft league.
Yeah, this is going to depend on your depth, but in a vacuum, I'm not taking this trade. I'd rather have Claypool. I think he's more valuable in redraft and dynasty. But if you need a running back, I would take James Robinson, and you're probably going to get a good value on him because he'll probably have better production than he's had. And Unruly Drip, welcome back, Unruly. Ayuk breakout game this week. What do you think, Cal?
I'm not calling it.
No. I'm not like, I think he still has to earn that. I need to see it before I put him in my lineup. His snaps were on the upswing last week, and he got a couple targets, caught a pass. That's good. Let's see some progress. I fully expect him to be a wide receiver 1 this season, but not yet.
Yep, fully agree. It's a wait and see situation for me. All right, let's get back to dads. I'm up next. I am going to talk about.
Do it.
You know what? I'm going to talk about Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson has so many good treasures to teach you. He has figured out life, and he just operates exactly how he wants to. And I feel like whatever child or offspring that he raises is going to be a tough bureaucrat. So I'm going to throw him in S tier. Cal, where you put? Oh, whoops! I pulled a Simon there. Cal, where are you putting Ron Swanson?
Can you imagine like all of the different life skills you would have with Ron Swanson as your dad?
Equipped.
Like you would have so many, like you could just get dropped in the middle of a forest somewhere and be fine. Like, because he would have equipped you for that scenario, no doubt. So
he wouldn't talk to me if he was my dad because of my bacon takes.
So yes, S tier, like you talk about being set up for success. He's got you set up, no doubt.
Josh,
I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum with you guys. I don't think he's that great of a dad.
Wow.
When it comes down to it. I don't want him as my dad.
Builds his own canoes.
Yeah. How often do you hear about his children in the show, huh?
A lot. He has the girls. He treats the girls so well.
Yeah, he's fine. He's not even really a dad. He's C tier.
It's not even a dad because he's a stepdad. Although doesn't he have he has his own son at the end of the show, I think.
Yeah, that he neglects
to go canoe.
Jay Wall's comment here is exactly what I thought. Like, I agree that JL could absolutely be Ron's
because I like rebel against a lot of what he believes. Is that the reason?
I'm seeing a lot of great questions come in the chat about fantasy, and we might not have time to get to everything, but hey guys, at 4:15, right after the show at 4:15, we are doing a start sit or any questions you may have. JL and I are going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
so bring your questions in there. If we don't get to them, that'll be right after the stream. We're just going to try and get through some of these TV dads. Cal, what's Josh? Where did you put Swanson? C, and we put him in both in S. So I think that puts him in A.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I feel bad. A lot of A's here.
Putting him up here. All right, Cal, who do you want to talk about next?
Let's stay with the high-end dads. Growing up watching Family Matters, Carl Winslow was just the absolute ideal of what you would want your dad to be. He participated in so many things that his family would do. He was an honorable guy. Lots of integrity. He was, a pillar in his community as an officer, police officer. Mm-hmm. He took on, in a lot of ways, the next door neighbor, Steve Urkel, and put up with his stuff and had great advice, great life advice like that. Those sort of things where you can walk away your dad giving you life advice, setting you up for success. Those kids you could tell how good those kids were, and
they had values.
And so Carl Winslow, A+ to me, he's S tier.
Yep. So go ahead, Josh. What do you think about Carl Winslow?
A tier.
A tier. I'm gonna put him in S tier. I grew up with Carl Winslow.
We got 2 S's.
2 S tiers.
Right. I got another one here. I'm gonna go on the lower end of the spectrum, and it's Jerry Smith. I love Rick and Morty, but Jerry is
there's nothing
horrible, just human, and he's not horrible. He just doesn't get it. He's F tier dad.
Yeah, he's F tier for me too. He's just he adds nothing. He doesn't parent. His children are not parented. It is F tier for me. Cal, what do you think?
Absolutely F tier. If for no other, he's just a bump on a log, but if no other reason, he just lets his kids just run off on these adventures with their grandpa, who is not a great influence on them.
He tries to stop them sometimes, but it's for his own personal gain all the time instead of actually caring about their safety and stuff. I feel so.
And it's not like he's too busy. It's not like he's doing anything. He's unemployed. It's just he just does nothing.
Get Jerry out of here.
Get out of here, Jerry. I'm sick of talking about you, Jerry. Jason Carl Winslow S tier. Anthony Carl Winslow F tier.
Fair enough.
Disagree.
Hard disagree there.
Hard disagree. All right, I am next. Who do I want to talk about? God, Red Foreman's forehead is so intimidating.
You want to talk about Red?
I want to talk about. You know what? I'm going to talk about Walter White.
Oh, all right.
Walter White is a great parent. He has to put up with Skylar's nonsense all the time, but he's B tier for me. A little self-centered, a little narcissistic. Cal, where are you putting Walter White?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but I think F tier. I think he's awful. He's completely self-centered, like you said, but that's even after we met him and he became Scarface, right? Before that, he might as well have been Jerry based on the first episode, right? He just was kind of useless, didn't do much. Skylar just kind of did whatever she wanted, and he just sort of went along with whatever. It was just, he didn't seem to be much of anything. So yeah, F tier, no doubt.
Yeah, he does everything because he wants to, and he always tries to make it seem like it's for his family. It's F or D. It's F.
Wow.
Agree with Jay. I mean, love the character, but
it's not like Skylar or Walt Jr. are winners. You know what I mean? They can't all be winners. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think I put him B. You both put him in F, which I think puts him in D.
That's fine. I think he's more like a D actually when I think about it.
Jay said, "Love the character. Terrible dad."
Mm-hmm.
Great dad, terrible husband. Oh, different opinions here. All right, Cal, which TV dad you want to talk about next?
Well, I'm just gonna keep I'm much older than you guys, so I'm gonna keep bringing these oldies but goodies back. As far as the character of Danny Tanner, Bob Saget from Full House, the icon of dads, and I think the best thing about him is you also get Danny and Joey with him, right? You bring in, it's you got 3 dads in one when you've got him, and so that was absolutely the best. When you think about as a kid, who what kind of house would you want to grow up in? It was that house. He was, he had a widow, he's doing the job of he's being the dad and kind of the mom to these 3 girls. It was, he's amazing.
So
I'll put him S tier.
All right, Josh, where are you putting Bob Saget?
Great dad. A tier for me.
A tier. I'm gonna put him in D tier. He is the least good of the 3. You mentioned Jesse and Joey. I would much rather have. I think
he's got a lot of help. Yeah, you're right.
He's got a lot of help. Honestly, I think you'd be fine with Jesse and Joey. You'd have great jokes. You got the cut it out thing. Yeah.
I feel like you just want to take him off the show and not necessarily as being a dad.
And I feel like I was betrayed after I realized he's not like that at all in real life.
The real life character is not near. The real life person is not.
It's the polar opposite.
Right.
And so it just made me dislike the character even more. I felt betrayed. got daddy issues. We'll move on. So Bob Saget, let's see. I put him in D tier. You S and what were you, Josh? A and S.
A, yeah. So
is it where does that put it?
B?
B? All right.
Sounds about right. I don't know. He belongs to B.
All right, Josh. Which TV dad do you want to talk about next?
I'll go Ned Stark, Lord of the Rings. Ned Stark is a very good dad. He's not S tier, but he does care about his children. He cares about his family. I'm gonna put Ned Stark in B tier.
Which one's Ned Stark?
He is in the middle with the big old coat next to Ned. The other Ned. Ned Flanders. Yep. No, not
this one.
Right. Yeah.
All right. And so you put him
not
in
a
A?
Big Lord of the Rings fan, I see.
I have watched Lord of the Rings, but
Game of Thrones.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't think he was is it the same actor in Lord of the Rings?
I just watched Lord of the Rings like last weekend, and it is the same actor in Lord of the Rings. It is.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember him being a dad though. Aragorn or whatever his name is.
No, not Aragorn. It's the guy. He dies in the first movie. Whatever. Just keep going. I'll come up with it. It will come to me.
All right. I never watched Game of Thrones. So I'm gonna put him in C. No, I'll put him in B because I think that's what I did with the other one. Where did you put him again, Josh? A?
B, actually.
B. So 2 Bs. Cal, where are you putting Tony Stark?
Dude, so this will go Ned Stark. Not Tony Stark.
Couldn't remember.
Different character.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Leave me alone.
Dude, I guess this will be controversial. I think he's F tier. Yes, there is some honor that comes with him, and I think, but he was the kind of person who his honor led him to terrible, bad, naive decisions that caused his entire family, most of them, to get killed, run away. His youngest daughter became a murdering nobody, and all most of his kids died. He needed to use a little bit more wisdom in those situations, and none of that would have happened. So I completely blame him. F tier. He was awful.
F tier.
Boromir in Lord of the Rings, by the way.
Boromir, okay. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, he dies from the elf guy, which I guess is kind of a safe bet in that movie.
Yeah,
I feel like most people did.
Yeah.
All right, so that puts him in C tier. This will be our last one. And for this last one, I want to talk about good old Phil Dunphy. Phil Dunphy is a great dad. He's goofy. He's a magician. But he owns it, which I like. And so I'm going to put him... I'm going to put him in A. Cal, where are you putting Phil Dunphy?
I have no idea who Phil Dunphy is. So
Modern Family.
I never watched the show. I have nothing to add to Phil Dunphy. I don't love his name.
It's a bad name.
So you're gonna abstain?
Starts good with Phil, but then it goes downhill from there.
All right, so you're gonna abstain, or do you want to just throw a random vote on here?
I'll break the tie if you guys differ.
All right, Josh, where are you putting Phil Dunphy?
I don't know. He feels like a mixture of I don't know, he feels kind of close to Jerry Smith almost for me. He's like a C tier dad for me.
Wow.
And you said what, JL?
I said A, so I would put him in B right now.
I'll put him B.
All right.
All right, let's go.
We did it. TV dads. We'll have to do a part 2, Cal. Get you back on.
We probably do have to do a part 2.
There's so many good TV dads.
This is a lot of fun to talk about.
We need TV moms, so I can put Skylar in F.
Ooh, yeah, TV moms would be good.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Tim said Ned Stark is S, no glory, and he never lost his head under pressure.
Ouch. You probably don't even get that, do you, JL?
I don't. I have no idea what those words mean.
He lost his head under pressure.
Metaphorically.
But that was.
I'm with you. And Dan said B tier at best for Phil Dunphy. Well, he was right in B tier, so you nailed it. All right, that does it for TV dads.
Good point from Luke down here too. Yeah, Ned was awful.
Luke made a great point there.
Yeah. There was honor there, and I think that's why we want to give him the benefit of the doubt, because there was some honor, integrity, but no, it was not great. Not great.
Yeah.
JP, just Alan Thicke from Growing Pains got to be up there. We'll have to get to him in part 2 here.
That was my wife's favorite. Like when we talked about this before, she was like, that is who she wanted her dad to be. So
Alan Fick, Canadian treasure.
Daddy Fick.
Man, there's a lot of Canadian TV dads, I feel like.
Yeah,
because they're just Canadians are so nice.
They're so nice. Yeah,
they got that
Matt
right
Connolly's
vibe.
Canadian. He has like
that's true.
20 kids. So,
also very nice. Yeah, it's true. It's like the ultimate dad.
There's something to be said about that. But hey, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Cal, thank you for coming on and doing these tiers with us. We determined some great tiers for the week 3 wide receivers and these TV dads. You're the man, Cal. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. You guys are great. And anytime.
And follow Cal on Twitter.
Oh,
at
please.
Calvin and Hobby.
Great follow. Fantastic
Do it.
follow.
If you're not doing it, you're messing up. But I think that's going to be it for us today, guys. We have the office hours coming up in just a few minutes. Come on in there and ask us some questions. If you have anything fantasy related you want to talk about, we will be there. All right.
Special attention.
And we're here live streaming every weekday at 3:00 on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at Front Yard FYF, YouTube at Front Yard Fantasy. You can find John Luke on Twitter at FYF John Luke. Find me on Twitter at FYF Josh. And trading does make fantasy fun.
There it is.
Let's go, boys. All right, let's see if I remember how to do this outro real fast.
You want me to do it? You got it.
I know, I got it. You know what?
You got it.
Love you.
We'll see you soon.